All right, welcome to Mustang Mat Chat number 3. This is December 18th, 2018 here. Last Mat Chat we're going to have for the 2018 season, and then we'll come back probably second weekend of January after the first there. So to my left here, I've got John Carey, junior high and Mat Club coach. Just here to talk about junior high season and Mat Club and what we're looking forward to here. So John, how did the junior high do this past season?
Junior high has done very well. They started off in their meets. They have 9 meets between pretty much the beginning of November. We practiced in mid-October to about mid-December. And they've had 9 meets they've already completed in a short period of time. Typically, we have about 2 meets each week. They went from roughly around 50% wins per dual meet. And through the season, we tend to do a little bit better each meet, and generally speaking, we did raise our percentage of wins that we'd win each meet, or matches that we'd win. We had in a couple of the meets we had 70 and 80% wins, so that just shows a marked improvement from the beginning of the season. About half of our wrestlers tend to be newbies or new to wrestling, or maybe very little wrestling experience, and then the other half tend to have had some experience in Mat Club and have gone to meets on weekend tournaments and have competed. So we get kind of a mix of both. So people that come into our program in 7th grade tend to get, that it is going to help them athletically. It's going to help their character, and it's going to they're going to be around a lot of people that are positive coaches, and they're going to become better athletes because of all the tough workouts we put them through. We do weights and agility, and for 3 days a week in the first 3 weeks at least and then we continue that when the high school comes in the room, they do get tougher workouts when the high schoolers come in the room, and that's another plus that we've seen over the last few years. We see our wrestlers really starting to pick it up, and especially if they decide to wrestle after December. They can compete in AAU, USA, and many other outside of the school wrestling type meets. So junior high, we like I said, it's not really a scored dual meets like it is at the high school, but we did recently have a opportunity to go to Waverly duels, and we had K through 8th grade there. We happened to have a lot of older kids, and we were pushing during the season to, hey, this is something we want to do as a team. And a lot of guys stepped it up, and we ended up taking second in those duels. We had a lot of good matches, extra competition for these guys, and giving them some good experience on the mat. And many of our wrestlers are still in the high school room, and learning from all our coaches that are still in there. Quite a few of our guys are going to probably do well towards the end of the season.
Now, the coaches that are working with you are Gary Anderson, Dan Eschen are your two other main guys with the junior high.
Yep. Yeah, we kind of I have the 3 of us, and we all work every angle, and we kind of work together as a team of coaches, and they kind of, some respond well to one style, and some respond better to others. So we can kind of Coach Anderson and I are both teachers, and just like many of us here, so it's good that we have that contact with them during the day. We know how their day is going, and we get a chance to have more of an influence on them outside the wrestling room. There are a lot of other coaches too in the high school level that these kids get the benefit of being around. It's great environment for these guys to be in when they're in 7th and 8th grade. Going back to Mat Club, because I know that's something that you said you wanted me to kind of touch base on. Mat Club, pre-K through 8th grade. So depending on how their maturity is, at that young age, you don't want to maybe throw them in the wrestling room too young yet. Starting off at the beginner level, even pre-K kids can come in and learn something about being in a big group, and learning something and just getting moving and getting introduced to wrestling. So it's fairly adaptable to their ability level and their maturity at that age. So we encourage anybody to give it a try for their boys or girls coming out. We have a lot of success with our program that we see the last couple of years, especially at that young age. Many of the coaches have kids in the program too, and I feel that like I've made a lot of good friends with some of my son's his friends and the kids that have been around him in sports. So it seems to be a really positive situation for that. And we've had about I think we had something like 5 guys place in USA State K through 8, and we had
And that's typically in January.
yeah, that's
Right.
typically in January. That's like the first state tournament. USA Wrestling has a state tournament, folk style, and that's towards the end of January. And that was 5 out of about, we'll say, 20 guys that were competing at that level. And then at the AAU state tournaments, there's a Super Pee Wee one for the younger kids, 2nd grade and below. And then there's for 3rd and up, there's a competition as well for state. And I think we had 8 out of roughly 20 that placed in those tournaments. And we have more in the program than 20 competing, but there's around 20 each year. I'd say there's about that number or more that are going to these tournaments and maybe compete enough to say maybe I need to go to that next level to the state tournament.
Because there are various levels within the program there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just hit on real quick too. I mean, it's already passed, but November we had the mini Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
We had about 300 kids, was it, or slightly over 300 kids? I think it was.
Yeah.
At that, run 9 mats there, kind of a unique opportunity for them. And we also had the developmental tournament, which was 200, almost 200 kids at that as well the day before. So those are some actual opportunities that we had in November. And then kind of backing up the junior high, 9 meets. We had 5 of them at home. We're lucky we got most of them at home. And then how about the second to last home meet of the year, the Thursday night, I call it the undercard, right before the Cliff Keen tournament on that Thursday. Talk about that one just a little bit.
Yeah, well, we had a good situation with that. I mean, because we get to have our junior high guys be there and showcase, against many other schools, how we're doing and in front of our home crowd. And then, so we may have some, high school parents and fans that typically may not go to a junior high meet, come to the high school, and we get to wrestle in a great facility with all these mats laid out. And you have the schools that come too, they like the setup, they have the track boards up, everything's very high tech, as Shannon always has it for us. But we have, it was a great meet. We were pretty successful that night too, and then we were able to watch the dual meet at the high school as well. And the JV matches actually were starting as junior high was finishing up, so it was kind of a mix, event, and then it ended up with the ending with the high school dual, varsity dual at the end. That was a good meet. Speaking of all the home meets, I want to thank all of our fans, supporters, parents that stepped up to work at the mini Mustang, the high school wrestlers who help out at the as well, and the managers at those meets, and all the parents. We really rely on that to make it smooth and make everything go well. We also are looking for that all the time. I mean, if you want to be involved in something positive, if you want to help our kids, that's something we can do. I want to speak of a little bit too. We have our parent involvement is great. I think we can always improve on that, but it comes down to, we're all parents, and we feel like there's a need to make sure that like everybody's moving in the right direction. So if you ever have you feel like I want to do something, I don't know a lot about wrestling, or maybe I do know a little bit about wrestling, I want to get involved. I think we're all teaching our kids things, and I think it's important that we know that, we got to show them, in any situation, it might not be a wrestling move we're teaching them, but how to handle a situation. And I feel like we have a lot of good parents involved there with that. But get involved with your kid. If you don't know what to do, just watch the practice. And a lot of times you can kind of keep kids on task at that younger level. When they get a little bit older, we tend to have our coaches just kind of take over. But I think at that young level, as long as you're doing some positive things, it's great. I just want to put the word out to make sure that parents know, something we kind of live by is, we have wrestlers wrestle, coaches coach, refs ref. So it kind of tells you your role there, and then you have if you're a fan or a parent, just positively support. That's the best thing, the thing that you can do to help ensure that your kid and all the kids around them are going to be successful in the future. It's the one positive thing you can do, and I just want to make sure that we kind of send that message out whenever opportunity we get.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So Mat Club practices, we got K through 2 on Wednesdays, 3rd through 8th on Monday and Thursdays,
Mm-hmm.
correct? So you can find those schedules on indiewrestling.com. There's a link for calendar you can click on, and you can see all the practices we got scheduled out. Anything else you've got here for this segment?
Well, no, just want to say, I think our team's looking pretty good at the high school level. We're coming up. We got a few ranked guys, and our team's pretty strong. Pretty proud of that win, those last 3 wins at the Battle of Waterloo, and it's going to be exciting.
All right, excellent. So we'll take a short break here, and then we'll come back here. We got a couple wrestlers, and so stick around here. All right, welcome back here. We've got 2 seniors with us. I've got Thomas Madison here in the middle, and I got Drew Evans all the way over to my left here. How's it going, guys?
It's going pretty good. How about you?
Good, good. How about you, Drew?
Good.
All right, so season's, we're halfway done. Halfway done with your senior year. What's it like being a senior coming into the wrestling room? What are you looking forward to this year, or what have you enjoyed so far?
For me, it's entirely different from just my junior year because knowing that it's your last time competing and you want to give it your best and you don't want to take it for granted. 'Cause last year, I felt like I I always said I have one more year, I have this many years to grow, and then this year is the year that I've been working for. So it it's just that it finally hit that you actually have to leave it all on the line, and you can't have any regrets.
How about you, Drew?
Yeah, kind of like the same thing that Thomas was saying. It's like our senior year, it's our last year to kind of like prove it all. And it's like it's all or nothing really. And we're halfway through the season already, which is crazy. So we got to go into this break with the right attitude, and we got to think, let's get better. Let's keep working hard, just like we've been doing. And I think we'll be in good shape when February comes around. Hit wrestling hard January, get some good wins, get lots of matches under our belt. That way we're ready when sectionals comes and districts and the state tournament.
Okay. Let's talk about the first few meets we've had. We had our, the home stretch there, Cliff Keene. And then we had the Southama duels, and then dual meet at Southama again, and then we moved into the Battle of Waterloo. How are you guys thinking the team is performing, and your performances are so far going into this first half of the season?
Yeah, okay. Like the first half of the season, I think is like we've had some ups and downs. I feel like this team's got a lot of potential, and we just need to keep working hard. And I think we really need to focus in this break and get better. And I think it's just we keep going up and up and up and up. So I think if we just keep working hard, and these young guys keep working hard, and they step up, and they keep fighting and they keep working, I think this team can go really good places.
To piggyback off of that, from the one thing I see this year then from my freshman, sophomore, junior year is now I feel like since we got these lower weights that are coming in, they're freshmen, and they fight if they're in a bad position, they keep fighting, and everybody keeps fighting. And like when Jake Jewell and all them were here, we didn't really have lighter weights to rely on. Now I feel like we do. We have Dalton Hoover and Caden Larson, and sometimes Ryan Eddy in there that go in there and just compete and battle back, and they're never out of a match. So, and that's really huge. And then when we flip it over to the other side of the lineup, we know what we're going to get there. So I feel like we're really improving, and it's pretty good feeling knowing that our lighter weights can just keep fighting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we are moving into Christmas break here. We got tomorrow's practice, and then we don't come back until the 27th, I think.
26th.
26th, 27th. So over Christmas break, what are you looking forward to most? Let's just look at this. What are you looking forward to most out of this break? Between the wrestling, what are you looking forward to doing? A little bit different question here.
Just kind of getting to see my family, kind of just, it's been, wrestling, just like a short, tiny little break, and then, just right back at it after that. And still, getting in light workouts, doing little things in between on that break, but, kind of just taking a break from wrestling for just a little bit, and then right back in the room and right back with the same purpose and focus.
For me, it's watching a lot of huddle, watching a lot of film on the matches that so I can get better at looking forward past the break, so I can work to better myself. So when a conference comes around, then I can be ready for that, and making sure my weight's managed well, and just go out and just having fun, basically.
And then the last half of the season here, January, February stretch, what are you looking forward to getting out of this year? What is your ultimate end goal by the end of the season here?
Taking the podium, or getting somewhere on the podium. But my goal coming in this year was getting on the podium, and when I make it there, keep working up my way towards the winner side of the bracket at state.
Drew?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Thomas. It's like we all have a common goal, and that's to get on that podium, and go to state and do some damage and prove some people wrong, because rankings really don't mean anything. Anybody can beat anybody anytime. And it's just coming in with that mentality and having the right mindset, and, working hard now so that when we get there, it's easy. It's just like everybody's stunned, but we're just taking care of business. We're beating these kids because we know we can do it, because we put in the time and the effort and the work.
All right, then. Last question I've got for you guys. So you guys are seniors. What are your guys' plans at the end of the school year? I mean, college plans, aspirations, whatever.
I did have a couple of thoughts of wrestling in college. That's why for me this year was key to taking a podium for everybody to know that I can be successful, and I just got to prove a lot of people wrong. So I applied for the University of Minnesota. That was a big one, going back to my home state.
And Drew, how about?
As of right now, I'm planning on going to Clark University to study. I'm going to do an undergrad in athletic training, and then eventually go to be a doctor of physical therapy. But I kind of want to keep the option open to do my undergrad, somewhere, and then I can, wrestle there also if that's what I want to do. So I kind of want to keep the option of wrestling in college, but if it's not the right fit, I really don't want to force it. But right now, I just want to focus on finishing my high school career strong.
All right, excellent. Nothing wrong with Clark University. Go Pride. So, all right. We will take a break here, and when we come back, we've got Caden Larson, and then I think Doyle's going to be joining us here in a little bit as well, so don't go away. All right, welcome back here, segment 3 of Mustang Mat Chat here. Matt Shannon here with Caden Larson, freshman, as well as Michael Doyle here. So, Caden, how's the year going so far, freshman year?
Good.
Good? Good. So, how about the transition from wrestling junior high, doing that whole route and the Mat Club route, now you're getting into high school? What was that transition like for you?
It wasn't that bad, but it was kind of a change.
What would you say is like your biggest change? Like, is like practices harder? They're more intense. Like
They're a little bit more
the
intense,
speed of it.
You got to be at really high pace.
So it's just a lot all at once. Big, like kind of a bigger step from the junior high to the high school. I know, like when you were in 8th grade, you came into high school practice a little bit. Like I know you went to some Mat Club tournaments and stuff after high school. So do you think that kind of helped that transition a little bit?
Yeah, coming into the high school practices, it just prepared me for this freshman year. Yeah.
Because this year you've gotten to wrestle a little bit of varsity, and you've also wrestled a number of JV matches, probably about 50-50 or 60-40 JV varsity.
Yep.
So even in that, is there a difference there, do you feel like, as far as?
The varsity matches, you just got to fight, and keep going.
And what's that experience like? And like we just got done wrestling at the Battle of Waterloo, 32 teams, a lot of people, crowd stuff. What's that like as a freshman, kind of being able to wrestle in that as opposed to, wrestling in Independence?
It's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Yep.
You like that atmosphere? And,
Yeah.
So you think we should stay in that tournament? Is that what you think?
Yeah.
You
I
like
wish that tournament was around when I was in high school. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the Battle of Waterloo is a fun tournament. I think kids enjoy it. Plus, it's not very far from Independence, so it helps a number of fans go and watch and support it. And I know, like, our kids really enjoy that. And as a coaching staff, we appreciate the number of people that make it over there and support our team and support wrestling in general. So we do really appreciate that. Last night, you wrestled at Center Point Urbana, right?
Yep.
JV tournament. Maybe talk a little bit about that and how that went.
I went 2-1 and wrestled all right. Could have won a lot better. And yeah, I guess.
So you won all your matches except your last match, right?
Yep.
So you had a tough kid last match, but other than that, I mean, JV wise, going pretty good for you. You've won probably 90% of your matches on JV, would you say?
Yep. I've
You only got
lost
a couple-
one JV, I think.
One?
Yep.
So yeah, so I know JV wise we're in pretty good shape, and varsity wise we're learning, right?
Yep.
So, what would you say is your best position? Do you like being on your feet, like being on top? Or
I like being on top.
Being on top. And can you tell us why you enjoy? Why is that?
Getting the old cradle.
Yeah.
You can pin them.
It's the Larson Patton move, is the cradle. Yep. He's kind of a long guy. He's got a lot of leverage, and therefore he's got a lot of confidence in his cradle. So
Yep.
if we can get him taken down and get on top, we're set, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah. So from now until we don't compete again until January 3rd, I believe.
Mhm.
So what are a couple things like you personally want to work on from now until then? You got some time. I know you got some time off, but
Mhm.
what are some concentrated areas that you want to try to improve in the next couple weeks?
Neutral. You gotta take them down.
Working on your tie-ups
Yep.
and setups and
Yep.
working on your shot. Okay. And what are some things that you think you might do that maybe would be extra that will help you do those things?
Extra takedowns after practice and keep going.
Yep. So getting another guy, maybe working with the coach after practice.
Mhm.
So, no, that's good. And switching gears here a little bit, what do you got? Holidays are coming up. What are you
looking forward to? We kind of talk about that with the other group.
What do you got going on for the holidays? You got family time?
Yep.
You got like
Lot of
girlfriend or
family.
anything? Or
No,
you just,
I'm single.
Single. All right. So you just does your family go out of town, or do you guys?
Yep. We go to New Vienna.
Oh, so that's your mom?
Yep.
Yep, mom's side. So it's probably kind of fun to get together and spend some family time. So.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Well, I think that's all for Caden. I don't. Coach Shannon, do you got any? We want to talk about what's coming up?
Just just real quick here. So we've got Christmas break here, so we will not have another one of these until I'd say probably second week in January after we come back from the Benton tournament. So that week we come back, we've got Thursday night is at Williamsburg, correct?
Yeah, Thursday night I think we wrestle at Williamsburg, and I think Benton
I think
Independence
Benton's there.
in Williamsburg. Yeah.
Yep. And then we'll try to do a live stream there. I know we usually have success live streaming at that one. And then Benton Community, the Jerry Eckenrod 16-team tournament down there, 5 mats. That will be on TrackCast, so you'll be able to watch every mat on that down there. They do offer TrackCast at that meet as well.
Yeah, that's a really tough tournament. I think I look at our Saturdays, and almost every Saturday is a tough. So you have the Independence Cliff Keen tournament is 33 teams, a lot of tough teams, a lot of tough individuals. Then you go to South Tama and you have Omaha Burks ranked #1 in Nebraska, Solon's ranked top 10 in Iowa. Last weekend you go to Battle Waterloo and you got a lot of really, really good teams. And then after Christmas you go to Benton Community, 16 teams. I know like Don Bosco's there, West Delaware's there, Davenport Assumption's there, LaPorte City's there. I mean, a lot of really good teams as well.
Right. And that's JV and varsity, so everybody will be in action at Benton Community.
Yep. They got six mats that they wrestle on, and yeah, it's a long day there, and the competition is really, really good. So, and our January is really like that. Every weekend I think the next week you got Osage. The next week you got Ankeny duels.
Yep.
And
On
then
the weekend of Osage too, we do have the JV tournament, which we will be looking for volunteers for. If anybody is interested in volunteering to help with that, we run 6 mats at that.
Yeah. January's really busy. I mean, it's pretty routine. Thursday, Saturday. But it's a really competitive month, and the kids we train pretty hard in January, I would say. And then once February rolls around, we kind of pull back. But it's a lot. So if you can make it through January without taking a loss, you're doing pretty good. I think it's some of my best kids I've had, and they've all taken a loss or two in January. So our schedule's really tough coming up, and so we'll kind of see how the guys hold up.
Sure. And as I said, this will be the last last Mat Chat for this year. Starting week 2 in January, we'll have this again. Also coming up is Mat Club meeting on January 3rd. I believe we're going Wednesday in January at Bill's.
Okay.
So if there's anybody that's interested in attending the Mat Club meeting,
7
o'clock at Bill's.
7 p.m.
So if you'd like to attend the Mat Club meeting, we'll have that then. And anything else for good of the cause here?
No, just want to thank our listeners for tuning in, and thank Caden and Drew and Thomas for taking some extra time to stick around after practice here and kind of sharing their thoughts about the wrestling program.
All right. How about you, Caden? Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Excellent. So, all right. So happy holidays to you guys and a new year, and we will catch you second week in January.